Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Well, we're now just 2 days away from one of the Suncoast's biggest events of the year.
The Sarasota Grand Prix features some of the fastest powerboats on the water, bringing out huge crowds. ABC7's Rick Adams has some important tips for people going to the event this weekend.
As you can see right now, Lido Beach is filled with lots of beachgoers. Come this weekend, this beach will be jam-packed with thousands upon thousands of people enjoying the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix.
It gets pretty busy. I'd say it's probably the busiest day on Lido Beach.
Lido Beach lifeguard Rick Hinkson knows firsthand how enormous the crowds are for these powerboat races, which features over 100 racers. He's been a lifeguard for 18 years and has covered this event for a long time. Many more lifeguards are working the event to help keep things safe and under control.
We work real hard to keep everything cohesive and keep everyone in contact in case we need any help medically or police-wise.
Most of the Sarasota Police Department and other authorities will be keeping a close eye on spectators, making sure it's a smooth ride for everyone.
We'll have extra officers that are going to be on the road. We'll have officers that are keeping an eye out for DUIs as well as BUIs, boating under the influence. We won't just have officers actually on the road. We'll actually have a number of Marine Patrol units that will be out as well.
For some beachgoers that we talked with at Lido Beach, they say it's a great event, but the big crowds may keep them away this year.
It's just gotten too busy, too hard to park, but for years we loved it.
Authorities and organizers of the event say it's best to get to Lido Beach early this weekend, preferably after 6 a.m. and before 9 a.m. Also, you're encouraged to either carpool or take the SCAT bus to help cut down on the traffic.
Please be courteous and be patient, and we can all share the beach and have a great time this weekend.
The powerboat races are taking place on these waters this Saturday and Sunday, but you can expect more of a police presence here from now through the 4th of July. Reporting from Lido Beach, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Powerboat Grand Prix Festival continues tomorrow with a huge block party. Racing boats will be parked at Main Street in downtown Sarasota, right near Lemon Avenue. There will be live music and food vendors from 6 until 11. And then on Saturday, the Superstock and Aqua X races will take place from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. off Lido Beach. And then Sunday, the fast boats, the Powerboat, Aqua X, and Superstock races will go from 9 until 3:45. All race teams competing for $60,000 in prize payouts.
Pretty exciting. Yeah. Let's head over to Bob to see what the weather's going to be like.
Well, I got to tell you, things have really cooperated so far all week long, and we are going to see a little bit better chance for some showers and storms around. But it looks like with the west to southwest wind flow, most of it will be inland, pushing toward the east coast, even through the weekend, as we've seen over the last several days, and we're seeing it this afternoon. However, looking to the west of us, we have a little bit of a trough of low pressure out there, which may enhance some of the showers along the coast during the morning hours, so it could be a factor then. But right now, the rain into Hardee and DeSoto counties near Wauchula, just south thereof. Not much going on near the area beaches now from Anna Maria southward all the way down to Englewood. Things are quiet here. I mentioned that trough of low pressure. It really extends over North Florida and out into the Gulf of Mexico. And this is allowing us to see that southwest wind come right on into our coast, and that's pushing the storms inland. Rainfall estimates, though, we did have some rain earlier this morning from Venice all the way down to Englewood, and some of that rain was moderately heavy at times. That feels like temperature just under 100 at this hour. More in your forecast coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. An Englewood man accused of smothering his child to death is seeking a plea deal. James Dearman appeared before Judge Thomas Krug today to enter the plea deal. Sarasota County Sheriff's investigators say Dearman pinned his young son to a couch by sitting on him and smothering him while playing video games last Christmas Eve. Dearman's girlfriend, Ashley Cole, was there at the time. She is guilty of being a principal to aggravated manslaughter of a child. As part of the plea deal, Dearman has agreed to testify against his girlfriend.
Based on your testimony here today, Mr. Dearman, I'll find that you're entering into the plea freely, voluntarily, and knowingly, and I'll accept your plea of guilty to the crime of aggravated manslaughter of a child less than 18 years of age.
Dearman has agreed to forego a trial by jury. He is scheduled to be sentenced on July 28th. He could face up to 20 years in prison and an additional 10 years of probation.
The owner of a Sarasota motorcycle shop is looking at over $20,000 in damage and losses after a smash and grab burglary. Those thieves broke into Hap Cycle Sales on 17th Street early Wednesday morning, Workers say the thieves broke down a chain link fence and used a truck to plow through a garage door, damaging several motorcycles that were parked on the other side. A security system notified the owners, but 2 dirt bikes had been stolen by the time they had arrived. The burglars caused between $10,000 and $20,000 in damage.
We weren't expecting them to use a pickup truck as a battering ram to drive through our building. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they wanted to get. They knew exactly where it was in our building, and it was obviously way pre-planned.
Surveillance cameras at the shop did capture some video of the thieves. They were wearing hoodies and dark clothing. Sarasota police are investigating.
The mayor of Northport says she's excited about the city's next step in having its own hospital. Earlier this week, the city commission voted to create a task force. Those who will serve on the committee have not been selected, but will likely include doctors, surgeons, and administrators. The city has been working for years to attract a hospital, but past attempts have failed. Mayor Moore is hopeful that this task force will put together an action plan.
When you get bright, capable people, experts in their field, coming together around the table with a common goal and with the political will that we're going to have an action plan and we're going to take action and we're going to have a roadmap that gets us there, only good things can happen.
City staff is expected to present a proposed framework for the task force to the commission at a July 29th workshop.
Tonight, representatives with Benderson Development will talk to community members about their proposed Siesta Promenade. Benderson wants to build a mixed-use complex that would include 150 hotel rooms, 600 residential units, and commercial space. It would go up on more than 23 acres of land at the northwest corner of Stickney Point Road and US 41 in Sarasota. The county is holding a workshop from 6 to 8 o'clock tonight at Pine Shores Presbyterian Church. Benderson is expected to give a presentation.
The Siesta Key Chamber of Commerce says local sponsors have come to the rescue, and there will be an impressive fireworks show this 4th of July. The chamber had to cancel one of the big fundraisers this year, the VIP party. Due to recent renovations at the beach, they lost access to picnic tables and parking for that event. The chamber was worried that they wouldn't have enough money for the $45,000 display, but several groups have stepped up. Visit Sarasota County, the Siesta Key Village Association, and First Watch Restaurants all contributed to the show. This will be the 26th year for the festivities and should be just as great as the 25th anniversary.
The show will be as spectacular as it was last year to focus on the new beach and the new beach concessions that have opened.
Around 20,000 to 30,000 people are expected to come out on Siesta Key on Monday for the display. Fireworks start around 9 o'clock. Always a good one.
That's a great spot to watch it. Yeah, definitely. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now. And Richard, a very strong day on Wall Street, the 3rd day in a row for us after what we thought was the collapse of the world.
Scott, you've got that about right. I'm trying to think last Friday. It was called Brexit, I think. Now it rings a bell, but boy, oh boy, do we change things around in a hurry. Today, just as an example, not only were we up by more than 200 points, every index we follow was up by more than 1.3%. Today, of course, marks the end of the first half of the year. And for the first 6 months of the year, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up by 2.6%. The Standard & Poor's 500 index up by 2.3%. The only negative is the NASDAQ, and it was down by 3.5% for the first half of the year. So let's look at the final trading figures for the last trading day of the first half of the year. There you see the Dow up 235 points, 1.33%. Closing at 17,929.99 on heavy volume of 914 million shares. Next, we have the NASDAQ, and that is not an error. It is also up 1.33%, more than 63 points, closing at 4,842.67, also on heavy volume of 1,807 million shares. Last but not least, the S&P, and that's up 1.36%, up more than 28 points at 2,098.86. Well, there's a possibility of a huge takeover in the candy business. Hershey, you all know Hershey from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Well, they received an offer today of $107 a share from a company by the name of Mondelez International. Who are they? Mondelez? Well, how about they make Oreo cookies because they own Nabisco, Philadelphia cream cheese, Ritz crackers, Triscuits, I expect you probably know all of those. Well, they may be one. Believe it or not, Mondelez has offered to move its corporate headquarters from just outside of Chicago to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and has even offered to have the company change its name to the Hershey Company. So we'll have to see what happens, but shares of Hershey, a pretty sweet deal today, up 17% in one day. Pretty darn good.
Sweet for sure.
Absolutely.
And Richard, your thoughts on the second half of the year as we head into that?
Well, I'd like to say I know what's going to happen, but I will tell you this. We've got a presidential election, which certainly will be interesting on lots of fronts. We will have to deal with whatever Brexit brings us in the next few months, and certainly the Fed will or will they not do anything about interest rates. But it's all still about corporate earnings. If earnings for the third quarter are strong, we could have a very good finish to the year.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a $5 billion expansion in the Panama Canal, how that project will help meet the demands of a growing market here in the U.S.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus in Health Smart, why men with hopes of becoming a father should put down that next cigarette.
Shop GoWildHonda.com. Lease the new Civic for $169. A well-equipped Civic, just $169. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda, Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View. There are some unusual sights at Selby Gardens this summer. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we'll learn about the flower that only blooms once a year, plus an international donation with a great story. Adult coloring books are all the rage. We'll give it a try to see if it relaxes us with the Art Center of Sarasota. Plus, it's Makeover Madness with Cutting Loose, and we get ready for the weekend with Geyers in the kitchen. Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Hurricane season is here, so when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC 7.
We bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
And track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Manasota Flooring.
Looking for carpet? Look no further. Manasota Flooring has Smart Strand carpet as low as $1.79 per square foot. Installed, no add-ons or extras. Unbelievable? Manasota Flooring can have in-stock carpet installed in your home in 48 hours for as low as $1.99 per square foot. Don't miss these prices. Visit Manasota Flooring today.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get four-wheeler magazine's 4x4 of the decade, a new Jeep Wrangler as low as $25,999, or drive away in a new Jeep Cherokee for just $19,999. Get a new 2016 Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
You know what scares me? No electricity. Yeah, when this magical box suddenly stops working, I call the pros at Mr. Sparky and they send a superhero to save the day. How's it going, Pablo?
It's going great, Mike.
Pablo possesses amazing skill. He can perform incredible feats at blinding speed.
Superhero. Couldn't have done it without you.
Modest, too.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Just to be clear, I don't live here.
Shop GoWildHonda.com. Lease the new Accord for $189. Just $189 or 0.9% APR. Now at GoWildHonda.com or visit Wild Honda Sarasota. It's gotta be wild.
South Florida is starting to see the results of an expansion in the Panama Canal.
The canal expansion cost more than $5 billion to complete. It was nearly 2 years behind schedule. But a vessel loaded with electronics, clothes, and other items from Asia will make its way through a new area of the canal over the holiday weekend. The MOL Majesty will arrive at Port Miami by the end of next week. This marks what local port officials are calling the start of the new big ship era. The Majesty is the first of a new line of cargo ships that require deep channels and new canal locks.
I don't think there's ever been a guarantee that we're going to capture all this cargo. But I think doing what we can to make sure that we're in the best position possible to make sure that we can capture that, and not just at one port, but multiple ports around the state, that's really what we've been about, investing more than $1 billion on some of these projects.
Since Governor Rick Scott took office back in 2011, Florida has invested more than $1 billion into its ports. And we're learning more about how Port Manatee will benefit from the Panama Canal expansion. Port officials say the expansion will allow more smaller vessels to dock at the port. The port will be working with several larger retail companies, including Walmart, Target, Bealls, Badcock Furniture, and Rooms to Go. The increased business is expected to create new jobs.
Officials want federal action after Governor Scott declared a state of emergency over an algae bloom. Water conditions are deteriorating in the stretch of the Atlantic coast. The Martin County Commission is inviting the president to see these water conditions. They blame it on fresh water being released into Lake Okeechobee. Governor Scott has directed state and local authorities to fast-track water storage projects that would help reduce the algae's spread.
Follow up now on a popular dock damaged by Tropical Storm Colin. The floating day dock at the historic Bridge Street Pier on Bradenton Beach is now back open. It was closed earlier this month. Boats crashed into it when the tropical storm moved through this area. The damaged parts of the dock were removed yesterday, but the rest of the dock and the pier have been inspected to make sure they are safe. Bradenton Beach Mayor William Sharon says the city will now look at ways to replace the entire dock. Seems like a long time ago.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Next one up is Earl, but nothing out there on the horizon right now. Good news for the big holiday weekend too. Lots going on. Obviously, the boat races and the big going on downtown too. The block party. 30 boats expected to be there.
Wow, cool.
I hope to go live from there if we can, if the weather's cooperating, and it should. Here's a look at the live. Actually, not a live look. We have a water spot in Tampa Bay. We'll show you that in a little bit. Casey Key webcam showing you what's been going on today out on the beaches. Not a lot. Just a lot of sunshine. We started off with some clouds and showers near Inglewood and southward, and that has moved on. And a pretty good afternoon as far as beachgoers are concerned. Not the case inland areas. There's been some big storms firing up along that west coast sea breeze, which continues to move inland, associated with that west to southwesterly wind component. Big storms along the east coast now, and those will continue to progress in that direction. You can see that moving off basically to the east and northeast toward Daytona Beach and also Cape Canaveral. You can see the outflow boundaries of the heavy rainfall here. You can see it kind of blowing out this one here, this one moving off to the west, this one moving to the south, and another one just around earlier heading off to the west. So we could see some other showers popping up here within the next hour or so as those kind of work their way off in that direction. Now, rainfall today, the estimates, a lot of it well east of I-75, although this morning some showers from Venice, as I mentioned, all the way down to near Placida and Rotunda. Some of that rain was heavy at times, but not a lot of rough weather going on with these showers that move in from the Gulf of Mexico during the morning hours. Well, that dry air is just to the south of us, going to continue to sag to the south as some more moisture moves into the mid-levels of the atmosphere. I'll have to keep an eye on that activity out there in the Gulf. It looks like it's going to stay to our north, but it will, I think, give us a little bit better chance for some coastal showers in the late morning, early afternoon hours. The high today was in the low 90s. Right now, it's still 90 degrees. It feels like 99. Winds out of the west-southwest at 9 miles an hour. Temperature is where it's been raining and nice and cool, 79 in Orlando now, 81 in Jacksonville, 87 degrees Miami, and temperatures in inland, well inland, cooler as well, as you would expect with that rain near Highlands County. Avon Park at 80 degrees, 10 degrees warmer here. 87 in Venice Gardens and Bradenton at 88 degrees, mid-80s right near the water. Well, the futurecast is showing those showers winding down over central Florida tonight, and then they'll be back in the early morning hours, a chance for a few coastal showers pushing inland, a similar story that we've seen all week long since Monday, really. And things aren't going to change much. Saturday, similar conditions, a few showers in the morning along the coast, and then most of it inland in the afternoon and evening. And looks like Sunday and Monday will be the same. Now, there's a trough of low pressure hanging on and an old frontal boundary all the way into the Gulf of Mexico. I alluded to this yesterday that sometimes you can see a little spin up out there in the Gulf. The models don't catch, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But right now, not looking too bad. Here's the forecast for the next 7 days. I mentioned tomorrow the big going on just down in Sarasota should be okay. The block party looks to be pretty good. 40% chance for showers and storms come Saturday and Sunday, and the 4th of July, pretty much the same story. The timing of the storms will again be in the late morning, early afternoon near the coast. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Right now we have reports of a crash along State Road 70. This is in Manatee County and Lakewood Ranch at the intersection of Greenbrook Boulevard, slowing traffic in that area. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, for men, smoking appears to damage their sperm and potentially their children at conception. Reporting in the journal BJU International, researchers say that men who smoke have a higher percentage of damage to sperm DNA. Sperm with altered DNA may lead to health problems in their children. Researchers think that smoking triggers an inflammatory response in certain body parts and glands that could diminish sperm quality. Eating fish, nuts, seeds, and plants with omega-3 fatty acids may significantly lower your risk of dying from a heart attack, according to the most thorough study to date on this contested topic. Previous research on fish oil supplements and other sources of omega-3 fatty acids has shown mixed results. This latest study in JAMA Internal Medicine found that higher circulating blood levels of omega-3 fatty acids were associated with a nearly 10% lower risk of fatal heart attack. The participants with the highest level of omega-3s in their blood had the greatest risk reduction, a more than 25% lower risk of a deadly heart attack. Coming up, an elderly driver makes a big mistake at a salon in Illinois. Plus, the future of farming, how robots are replacing milkmaids. Those stories are next.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and this Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Sarasota Ford.
The Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix originated in 1985 by a group of local businessmen, among them the race's brainchild, the late Gene Whipp. What began as an annual picnic at the beach for children with special needs has expanded into a 10-day festival, raising $100,000 a year for Suncoast Charities for Children and generating an economic impact of $32 million for the area.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150, Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on-site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Florida Leather Gallery.
Your support during the Grand Prix Festival makes a big difference. Loveland Center in Venice is one of 5 area nonprofit agencies receiving support from Suncoast Charities for Children and the Suncoast Foundation. Thanks to a recent grant from Suncoast Charities for Children, a multi-sensory room was renovated for clients with autism and other severe disabilities, and allowing program money to go directly to clients.
Florida Leather Gallery is celebrating the 4th of July with spectacular savings. Take 33% off hundreds of styles. Experience freedom of choice with a wide and wonderful assortment of leathers. Freedom from worry with our impressive collection of protected leathers. And freedom from guilt as we proudly offer the lowest price guaranteed. Plus, free delivery. It's all happening right now. Come celebrate with our Lexperts at our 6 Florida Leather Galleries.
An extremely close call at a hair salon in Wilmette, Illinois. Surveillance cameras capture a car barreling through the business. Investigators say an 83-year-old woman pressed the gas instead of the brake pedal, and then this happened. She drove right through the front windows of the salon, past the front desk where 2 workers were standing. The woman behind the desk tried to move out of the way. Customers in the reception area jump at the sound of the impact. The driver and 2 workers went to the hospital to be checked out. A Seattle coffee shop owner had an unusual encounter with the man who burglarized her business. Last week, a man came in claiming he needed to use the bathroom, but instead he walked off with a laptop, an iPad, and a child's piggy bank. The thief's father apparently recognized his son from surveillance video posted to Facebook, and soon after, the thief decided to return the goods and apologize. The owner says she has no ill will against the man.
Move over farmhands. At one Wyoming County dairy farm, robots are now doing the milking. The owner of the farm says ongoing labor and minimum wage problems are some of the reasons why they decided to install these 8 new robotic units. Each of these 500 cows are programmed into the system and trained to use the milking robots in about 3 days. They walk in on their own, and about 7 minutes later, the process is over. Each of these machines have touchscreen monitors that track all of the cows. There's even an app that notifies the owner when something goes wrong with one of these cows. Just in time for summer, a California man decided to put 1,500 gallons of Coca-Cola in his pool, and that's not it. He also added a bucket full of Mentos mint candies and some ice. So after making this concoction, he made a friend jump in and try out the fizzy sensation. I'm thinking sticky.
How do you buy that much Coke?
Coke is happy about it. I think you would probably buy the fountain Coke, and just keep spraying it in there. I don't know. I have no idea, but Coke's like, yeah, free advertising.
I guess so.
I think I would have tried like seltzer water, because then you wouldn't be sticky.
Yeah.
Ugh, but
shower required right after
right
that.
after that, yeah. Still to come in your Suncoast News, not enough firefighters on duty.
What the Northport Fire Chief is doing to get more help to make sure they are ready for all emergency calls in Northport.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by the Florida Lottery.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month, complimentary maintenance included, at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beauty Rest, Eye Comfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
The ability to go to college on a Bright Future Scholarship gave me personally the flexibility to chase a dream. To not have to worry about paying for your college education was absolutely amazing. One step better than that was to leave with no loans. I mean, to start a life, to start a job, to start without having a debt was amazing, and it allowed me to get to where I'm at today.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.